Chris. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Popcorn Finance, the show where we discuss finance and about the time it takes to make a bag of popcorn. I appreciate you taking time to join us here for another episode. And today we're going to be talking about saving and someone who's done some real, I think, significant life changes in order to get closer to her financial goals and to make some real impact towards her savings goals. So today I'm joined by Yanely Espinal, the creator of MissBeHelpful.com. How's it going?
Hey, so good to be here.
I know. Happy to have you here on the show. Thanks for coming on, sharing a little bit of your story.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk to you about what you've done in order to save and reach these goals. And you actually set a goal for yourself to save half of your income, and which
Yep.
required some really significant changes in your finances there. So, Yanely, first I want to ask you, why is it that you wanted to even save half your income? I think it's important to understand that.
Yeah. So actually, my story is similar to yours, Chris, because I know how you and your wife took some time to pay off $27,000 of credit card debt. That was similar to me. So I had $20,000 of credit card debt when I was like maybe 24 years old, around there. And it was because in college, I was a mess, spending money on credit cards on everything and anything things that I needed, but also things that I wanted and I thought I needed, because I had some school scholarships cover my student tuition and everything like that. I didn't really have student loan debt. So I didn't really understand debt and like loans and borrowing. So I did it the wrong way with credit cards because I didn't get it. And by the time I realized, it hit me like, I have a 21% interest rate on this. This is going to take me decades to pay off. I have to smash this now. Otherwise, I'm just going to be stuck in the cycle of debt, just like, previous generations in my family. I got to cut this out. So I took a year and a half, and I paid off all the credit card debt. The time that I started my YouTube video in 2015, I started posting videos, was right when I became debt free. And I was like, if I just keep on acting the same way I've been acting to get in debt, I'm never going to actually change my life. So in order for me to stay debt free, I have to have as much money as I had in debt in my bank account. So my goal was to have $20,000, not that I owed it to the bank, but that I had it for myself. In order to hit that, I had to save half my income, because I was teaching at that time, elementary school teacher, making like maybe 50K with my raise and everything. So I knew I had to really get crazy and aggressive and save half of my income if I wanted to hit that goal.
No, I love that. I love that how you put that. Like you said, in order to keep myself from going back into debt, I need to have what I had in debt in savings for myself.
Right, right.
And I came across your story from your YouTube video. You have a great
Yeah.
YouTube channel. You're sharing a lot of great tips. And this was one of your older ones, a classic. But I noticed that people really were gravitating towards this.
Yeah.
And in this video, you went through, multiple things that you did in order to help you get to that point where you could save half of your income. And one of the things in there I want to focus on, which I hadn't really talked to anyone about this before, I haven't really heard too many people who were doing this, is that you
Yeah.
would barter work at a gym in order to take the classes there. And that was your way of hopping in there and saving some money, but also, doing something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of people overlook this bartering period. Like, bartering is not really something that we really talk about that much in our economy nowadays, because everybody's just so money hungry. And it's so easy to just send money. Like, we got Cash App, we got Venmo, we got Chase Quick Pay, we got all the things, right? If you want something from me, just send me the Venmo, the Cash App for it. And so I don't think we actually think much about bartering that much anymore. But, when I was little, I watched my mom barter all the time. Like, I grew up in a low-income Dominican family in Brooklyn, New York. We had no money. So I watched my mom all the time to say, well, what if, we do this for your event, and then you can provide this for us here and there. And so she would barter with people at the church and like in the community and stuff. She would sew for people, and then they would bring over different things. And so I saw her do that. And I always kind of knew in my mind, like, hey, there's other ways to get things you need if you don't have the money. You just got to be a little creative. And so I noticed that a good friend of mine, she was starting her business in New York. She had started it when we were in college, of like working out, but kind of like Zumba, but a little bit more excited, like animated, higher pump music, like a live DJ. It's like a very interesting workout called 305 Fitness. And so she came to New York. I was like, oh, maybe I should get involved in this. But the memberships are pretty expensive, just like Soul Cycle, just like all these boot camps. I mean, it's a boutique fitness place. You're going to pay a couple $100s a month if you want to take classes there. And I did not have the money because I was, really focused on getting out of debt. So yeah, I just went there and I saw that they were looking for people to help out at the front desk, and they would give you free classes in return. I was like, sign me up. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
And I always like to jump ahead and head off people's questions before they even ask me. So do you think this is something that anyone can do? Like, is it because you knew the
Good
person, you
question.
can get in there, or you think anyone could do something
That
similar?
is such a good question. I do think people probably think, oh, well, that's her friend. You know, she knew her. Of course, she had to connect. But the reality is there were so many other people there that were bartering, that they just like showed up and said, I want to take classes, but they're a little expensive. And they were like, well, if you give an hour a week, you know, you can get a class or here and there. So I feel like what it is she was starting a business. And when you're starting up a small business at first, you really don't have a lot of cash. You're kind of scrapped for resources. And so you're trying to just really be scrappy and be creative with however you can get things done. So I feel like if you are tuning into your local community, like you might see a little yoga studio that they kind of, you know, struggling, they're just starting up and trying to get people, go in there. If you want to do yoga, go and ask, hey, can I open in the mornings for you or close up at night? Or, you know, can I just like clean up a little bit, throw towels in the bin, whatever, and see if I can get some yoga classes. So I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be a connection you have. It could definitely be tuning in more to your local community and seeing what local businesses might need. And then you can barter for services or products in that way. So you just got to kind of be attuned to it.
I think that's a great way to put it too. Like you said, focus on smaller businesses and not try to go walk into LA Fitness and say, hey,
Right.
can I mop up
Trust
the
me,
weight
they don't
section?
need you. They don't need you. They can afford to pay full-time employees and part-time workers. But a lot of times, yeah, it's the smaller businesses that really can't. So that's where I think the sweet spot is, to find opportunities like that.
Mm. And that's what I loved about your YouTube series you did on this, that you gave a ton of examples of creative things you were doing in order to help you reach your goal. Because like you said, I mean, you got to get creative if you're trying to save a large sums of money. You're trying to save thousands of dollars. You can't
That's
just say,
right.
you know what, I'm not going to just drink coffee tomorrow and that'll get me there. You got to make some real life
Yeah,
changes.
exactly.
So I highly recommend people go check out your YouTube channel, Miss Be Helpful. Go check out your site. Go follow you on Instagram. It's very inspirational to see the things that you're out there talking about, motivating people. So I appreciate you joining me here on the show.
Of course. It's so nice to be here. It was so nice to meet you. Actually, we met at FinCon, and it's so funny because I had listened to a couple of your episodes on your podcast already, and I did not expect to see you. So then I saw you at FinCon. I'm like, hey, I love this. First of all, people of color represent, because we need to be more represented in the personal finance space. So that made me super excited. And then when you invited me on the podcast, I was just so glad to be able to come on, share my story. So thank you for making space to highlight my story, because I really appreciate it. And thanks for giving my YouTube channel a shout out and all that.
Oh yeah, of course. To me, it's so powerful seeing people that look like you out here telling these stories. Because then it feels like, hey, this is something I can do. Because if someone who looks like me can do this, I can do it too.
I can do it. Yep, you got it.
So Yanely, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time to be on the show.
Yeah, boy, keep it poppin' like Mary Poppins.